Ich vermisse unsere Studenten. Ja, Mann.
Kommt da ein endgültiger Bericht auf uns zu von denen? Ein zusammenfassender Bericht? Ja.
Ja.
Okay.
Den wollten sie heute fertigstellen. Und wir haben noch ein Offboarding, vermutlich Mitte der Woche mit ihnen.
Ja. Oh, nice. Tawanda is coming in. Welcome, Tawanda. He's not. Welcome,
Hi,
Tawanda.
Welcome, Tawanda.
So we're not hearing you.
Hello.
Hello, Tawanda.
Now we hear you. Wonderful.
Anesu.
Oh, hi guys.
Oh, can we have autographs?
Did you listen to her song yet?
Yes.
I haven't.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hi, Anesu.
Anesu.
I'm good.
So now we need the Motherland song. No excuses.
Yeah, now that one is definitely coming now.
Good. Good. So thank you for coming here today. We are recording the session as usual as an unlisted stream on YouTube. So nobody's watching us here now live, but we have it for our documentation and for other people to look at it if they want to. So I would like to begin with a little recap and then discuss what's going to happen next and introduce somebody new on the team who's also here in the call, Jule. I'm going to make it quick because Jule might have to run off because she has a little child at home that she has to take care for. So in our understanding of where we are in our journey of Motherland, we are just entering phase 3. So in phase 1, we did a deep dive with the help of Tawanda, Anesu, Herman, and all the other people that spent a lot of time and energy on this to identify an important or the best point to have a systemic positive impact across the African continent. And that was the post-harvest value chain. We wanted to look for something that we can use technology and entrepreneurial spirit for coming out of Africa that has the potential to transform the way things are done in a way that serves the people who live in Africa. That was our mission. And I still believe that with the post-harvest value chain, we have a really good point. Welcome, Wynand.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I'm just doing a little recap and an intro into the next phase of Motherland, and I'm going to also introduce Jule as a new team member here today. I'm going to try and be quick because Jule might have to run early. So phase 1 was, where's our leverage point? Phase 2, which is now just being finished, was putting together the ecosystems consisting of startups and other initiatives across Africa to attack that leverage point. Now, last week, the students presented their findings. They have 3 proposals for such ecosystems. Today, they are wrapping up their presentation, and we are going to have a call, which we will record sometime this week, where we go deeper with them. So this week, we will have a full understanding of the results of their work and a starting point for what we call phase 3. And phase 3 is preparing for the practical implementation of these ecosystems, which means primarily finding partners on the ground. And Hermann already proposed his project as one place on the ground. On the one hand, and on the other hand, finding the financial partners who can help us finance the prototype. Prototype being at least one, preferably 3, locations across Africa where we implement examples of these ecosystems to generate learnings in the way that there will be people on the ground who will help the local communities really implement and use these solutions, learn from that, and then with a bigger financing round, help them as an entire ecosystem, not as a single startup, scale across the country and that they're in, and then potentially the continent. So that's phase 3 is the focus of building that prototype. And we need more people to help us with that, but one person who will definitely help us with this is Jule. I know Jule since, I don't know, Jule, you tell us, a couple of years.
Yeah, 5.
She's 5 years, crazy.
Yeah.
Jule is part of the team at Delody, and she is supporting us in operations with Motherland. Jule, do you want to share a bit about yourself and maybe
Yeah, sure.
what the little bits that you already know about your role at Motherland?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, I'm Jule. I'm let's say project manager at Delody, although we don't like that word so much because it suggests that there are people that need to be managed. So I'm actually taking over the project leading, the organizational stuff of the development teams. And also being a sidekick for T sometimes to helping get stuff done. And this is the background why he also, I think, introduced me here, because as he said, there are things to do. And especially in this 3rd phase, I think it's getting really concrete. So we need to get things done, and preferably quick and preferably well. So it's good to have more people on board. And as I am diving in again after my parental leave for 1 year, I am really curious to get new projects in my hands, and I'm really motivated to get this project in my hand, as I think this is really exciting, and I'm curious to see what steps will be done here and we will do together. So yeah, great to be on board.
Well, a warm African welcome to you, Jule.
Thank you so much, Hermann.
So Sebastian and I know Jule. You guys have questions? You want to get to know Jule a little bit better, or want to keep that for another time? This is a kind of surprise. So.
Well, I assume that we get to know her a lot better whilst working together, I think.
Yep.
Except she's burning to share something else with us. But otherwise, I'm sure we get to know her during the course of the project.
No, we already heard her main life project in the background while she was talking, so it's possible that she has to drop out of the call soon.
Yeah, let's see. I will stay for a couple of minutes, but I think she's quite, she she wants to be with her mom at the moment. She's with her dad all day. So now she's like saying, "Mommy, where are you? Come back."
We don't want to keep you for too long, but we definitely wanted to connect you with the rest of the group that meets here every Monday, and you will be just joining in the future as well whenever you can.
Yes, I have it in my calendar, and if I'm free, I will definitely join and see what's up. I mean, I will be informed anyways, because we will have close feedback rounds, Sebastian and T and me, to see what I can support you with, but yeah, also see the other guys from African.
Cool. Speaking of that, I'm in loose touch with somebody, and I was curious whether you guys know her. Her name is Tsitsi Mutende, or Mutendi, I'm not sure. Anybody has heard that name before?
It's the one you mentioned last week that was doing a webinar or something.
Exactly.
Where is she from?
She's from South Africa, and she's running an organization called African Family Affairs, Family Businesses. Family offices, sorry. African family offices. We haven't set up a call yet, but we're about to. So I want to talk to her about Motherland, and I wanted to just know whether you have heard anything of her or that organization.
I've heard of the organization. I haven't heard of her. But after you mentioned it last week, I went through my emails and I did a search, and it is a name that's come up in our database previously. And our marketing manager has tried to connect with her through various channels. That was towards the end of last year, but haven't been able to make contact.
Okay. So there might be a good new chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, given that I'm not even in Africa, I might be the wrong person to have that conversation with her. So maybe that could also be a beginning of an effort on the African side of Motherland to start digging into, are there any financing networks across Africa that could be helpful for Motherland? Sebastian and I are definitely doing this across Europe, but we can never be as strong in Africa as you guys. So maybe that's a way. Yeah.
That also came to my mind today when I was talking to Thomas, thinking about, okay, how we could bring things up now even more to speed. Yeah. So as Thomas and I will be focusing on our fundraising efforts here in Europe. Yeah, building all the collaterals that we need to talk properly to people that are well connected, or even are potential funders of the prototype. The question is how we can build and sustain Motherland in Africa. Yeah, and maybe it would make sense to have more activities from the guys that are in Africa. Yeah, because we also had this group of people in our webinar hosted by the students, and we somehow need to follow up and taking care of such activities. And the question is how we can really bring our momentum now to the ground. And therefore the question is who is able and willing to contribute what amount of time, but also an activity to drive this forward.
Sebastian, I think we discussed before that we actually need to complement the original core team, which has really dwindled quite a bit. And I don't think I have to offer my services. That's a given. But and Wayland, who can provide us with a lot of connections, but I think I would offer him my assistance because he's under terrible time constraints generally through his activities. That's what I can offer from the South African side at the moment, but I think we need more contributors and participants from other African countries.
Yeah, agreed. Like I said previously to Herman, I think in a conversation, it's a completely different picture building a model around what Herman and I say compared to what guys in the middle of Zimbabwe and in the middle of Kenya and in the middle of Malawi will say. Those are the people that really need our help and our input. So I'm happy to assist with our network. We've got a database of thousands of agricultural role players in South Africa specifically, but to a large extent across Africa. So I'm happy to assist where I can, but we need to get the other countries involved.
Yep.
Because absolutely, so I'm really grateful for your commitment, yeah, to drive that forward, but to double down on what Herman just said, and also Wayne, and I think we need to get now more people involved that are taking care of spinning the wheel, right? So there might be some dedicated activities that we need. Yeah, but I think we need to have someone spinning the wheel, because otherwise it's always going to stop, and then we have to put in energy again. Yeah, and this will not last. And I think we need to somehow overcome the time until we have secured funding, and we can also hire someone in Africa as taking care of that. But I think we need to taking care of that now. With the people and the access we have right now. Bye, Jule.
Thank you for coming in, Jule.
Sebastian, again, I think what could help if we start at least with one project, and that at the moment is irrespective where it is. If it happens to be South Africa, that's fine. That we at least have something living to show,
yeah,
even if it's only through pictures and taking videos.
That is true. That is true.
So that would help us to attract other people, because it's gone beyond the talking stage. And if we are in an implementation phase, I think that would draw new people. At the same time, I'd like to suggest that maybe one of you makes some contact with Luther, with what's the young man from Zimbabwe, from Kenya again,
Kiptu,
etc.
Yeah, I agree. It's time to re-engage everybody. So Sebastian and I are working on a presentation that is geared towards making the next phase happen. And I would say, so this week we will focus on the contents of the presentation. Next week we will focus on the design of the presentation. So I would assume that in 2 weeks we have a really solid presentation that sums up what happened and what is going to happen, and what and to me this is the starting point for the communication to everyone. And I mean everyone who's ever been in touch with Motherland, to say, okay, we're going to present this next phase now. There's a new chapter starting, and we're going to start with this next sprint towards concrete implementation based on a lot of learning and talking. We acknowledge that, but that was necessary to get here. And now we're very close to getting our hands dirty. And so I should suggest that we do it that way, and that it's done in about 2 weeks.
So, yeah, maybe you're just answering on Thomas, but I've just came up another idea.
Just go ahead, Sebastian.
So, yeah, so the other question that came to my mind, what would you do if we want to find a young talent, as we had them with the students from ESCP in Africa, yeah, who might become a kind of, let's say, an operational driver for the next 4 to 8 weeks, yeah, to deal with the African contacts, hosting sessions, writing emails, producing content, doing some project work, etc. Is it possible to find someone, and what would be the cost to pay someone in Africa? So I would love to throw some money into my hat, yeah, and find someone who is really supporting us operationally also in Africa.
I think it's a fantastic idea, and it must be an African. That's a given. It can't be one of the whiteys here, because I think, yeah, we don't have to go into detail. I think that's an absolute must.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be difficult to find someone. All the universities have postponed opening till mid-March. So there's a lot of final year students around waiting for an opportunity, looking for a bit of an income. As far as payment goes, I'm not sure what you would pay, but it certainly won't be a lot of money. I would think for
exactly, yeah. So
I would think for someone for a month for 5,000 to 10,000 rand, anything in that range, there's a lot of money for someone. That would be between, what is that in euros? Let's call it between 300 and 500 euros for a month.
Yeah.
I'm quite well connected with 3 universities. So if you want me to put out the word, I can very quickly see if we can find some interest.
Tawanda, you want to say something?
Tawanda, we're hearing you only partially. Tawanda, maybe you want to come back in, go out and come back in. We're not hearing you. The only reason why I am a little bit reluctant to take your offer immediately, Waynants, is maybe we can take the South Africa focus out of this. So that we find a university somewhere else.
Yeah, I would agree, but be very careful where you find a university. The level of education at university is not what you think it would be. If it's going anywhere out of Africa, you can go to Kenya, to Nairobi, and that's about all you can go in Africa as far as university goes, to ensure that it's at the level that you expect it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so I also would go here more for quality and certainty that we get something delivered. Yeah, and therefore we need, kind of a good talent who we can get somehow intrinsically motivated in this project, but also pay some money, yeah, so that this person really can spend their time on the project. Yeah.
Yeah. Tawanda.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, now we can hear you
better
better.
now.
Ah, that's great. Yeah. I was just saying, I was just thinking maybe to make it a little interesting. You've got what can I call them? Yeah, online startup publications like Disrupt Africa, and which is the other one? Venture Burn. They have a large audience in Africa, and we could use this as a way of actually now maybe advertise. It's kind of almost like advertising, but also a way of bringing about attention to Motherland, whereby we actually state that we are looking for an intern. And I think with that kind of approach, we could actually tap into a much wider selection pool, so to say, for potential interns or young people who would want to be interested in the project. So it would, like, especially for Disrupt Africa, I think it practically covers most of sub-Saharan Africa in terms of their audience.
That sounds amazing. Let's do it. So let's do both. I don't know if you heard, Tawanda, but Wynand offered to connect with 3 universities in South Africa. So I would do that, and at the same time, go the path you just proposed, which is great. Absolutely.
Just to add to that, the one university is actually a shareholder in our company, Stellenbosch University. It's one of the top 50 universities in agriculture in the world. And they are not only based in South Africa, they do work with, well, basically all the universities across Africa. I think there are 50 universities that they work with in rolling out curriculum and upgrading curriculum. So that would be part of the thing. I would tell them that we're preferentially looking for someone that's not based in South Africa, that's got experience across the whole of Africa.
Good. I like it.
Sounds good.
So, who would like to, so Wayne, I gather that you would be interested in joining the conversation with Tsitsi Mutendi if that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Or if you want to have the initial discussion with her and then introduce her to us to take it further, that would also be fine. But I'd be available to talk with her.
Good. Yeah, I'll see how she reacts and how that all comes about. But I'll loop you in as soon as I can.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I would love to be there as well if that's possible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to overwhelm her with participants.
I understand.
But on the other hand, I want to hand over the conversation to you guys as soon as possible, because I think people in Africa should speak with people in Africa about financing, while Sebastian and I are crawling across Europe.
Thomas, the only reason I offered my service is because, as you know, A, I have the time, and B, I'm quite capable of driving things. So if I'm in the conversation, then I know, or you, the rest of the team will know that things will be followed up and you know.
I know, and I totally appreciate that. Don't get me wrong.
Understood. No, I completely understood you. Don't worry.
Good. Welcome, Lebo. Lebo, you're muted, but
Hi, Thomas. Hi, Herman.
Welcome, Lebo.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
good. Thank
Good.
you.
Good.
Sorry, I'm late. The farm is raining, man.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much of the beginning also Tawanda and Anesu heard, because both of you dropped out and back in. So if you could give me a little info of where you dropped out, then I could do a little repetition and update also for Lebo. Tawanda, Anesu?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Levo. How you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you, Tawanda?
I'm good. How's the going?
Good, man. Can't complain. It's raining every day, eh?
Likewise, it's the same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting year. When I joined, I think I was a bit late, a couple of minutes late. Thomas, Sebastian, they introduced us to a new face. I don't know if I can pronounce the name properly. I think it was Jewel. I hope I pronounced it properly.
Jule.
I'm not too sure.
Jule. But
okay.
I think she would know that she's addressed if you say Jewel. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, please forgive me for my failure to pronounce it properly. But anyway, I believe she's an expert in the area of project design and development. And she will be helping us as we work on the Motherland project. Yeah, so she was with us for a couple of minutes, then she dropped out. And then afterwards, we began discussing where we are at and what we would need to execute in the next couple of weeks. A couple of issues, Sebastian and Thomas committed to developing a tool to help us marketing as we begin to exercise our fundraising. I think it's actually documentation that will help us in our marketing drive. And in relation to fundraising, what has been proposed is that while Thomas and Sebastian will be looking through their connections and links within Europe and beyond for fundraising, they have recommended that in terms of also seeking potential fundraising partners and sponsors within Africa to drive our project, the Africans should take charge. And at this point in time, while we're also looking at that because we also want to spread awareness of Motherland, we discussed also, is it possible for us to have an intern or someone, particularly a young African, who might have some time to work with us maybe over the next couple of weeks in helping to spread more awareness about Motherland and also helping to develop links and contacts that might be helpful for us within Africa. And in line with that, Sebastian also offered to offer a kind of I would say a kind of stipend for the assistance that they would be giving us.
To pledge some money. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, Lebo. That's what I heard. I think the others can fill in more.
That was perfect, actually. I would add just one tiny little bit more, that the goal of this phase is to establish a situation where we have the places on the ground and the financing to implement what the students have found in the last phase. so
Okay.
that this is now the final step towards getting our hands dirty and doing things on the ground.
Correct.
Yeah, so there should be, building on what Tawanda just said, there should be, I think, leadership in Africa, from Africa, regarding the conversation in Africa. So Sebastian and I can do this, and we will do this if nobody wants to take that. But I truly, deeply believe that this should be held by somebody from Africa. So we can do this in Europe, and finding people who will finance this, and we have several conversations lined up already. And we have some very profound impact networks, impact investing networks that we can tap into. And but I think the conversation in Africa is better held by somebody coming from Africa. So we need leadership from you guys now.
Okay. Yeah,
if I
on
have
my
to-
side, I think. Sorry.
I'll go, Lebo. You go, Lebo.
Venon, you can go on.
No, I was just going to say, if I have to be dead honest about it, I don't think the leadership is going to come from anyone outside this group of 5 Africans on the call now. This is basically the group that is between myself, Herman, Aneso, Tawanda, and Lebo, the group that's regularly joined since I've been involved, certainly. So unless there's someone before that wants to get back into it and assist, I think between the 5 of us, we'd be the ones that would have to put our hands up and take it to the next phase. And I'm happy to step up and do that with the assistance of the others.
Thank you, Venon. That's great.
Thanks, Venon.
Another
Sorry,
thing,
guys. I just came back just now. As you've seen, I put a message that I was changing the device. I was moving. I'll just catch up as you guys are talking.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Tawanda just gave another brief summary, so I'll just keep catching up because I'm still,
Good. Okay. So another thing Tawanda said is that Sebastian and I are going to prepare material. So that material will be a presentation. This week we'll focus on the contents. Next week we'll focus on the format and the design. So in about 2 weeks we should have a presentation that can be used for communication purposes, various communication purposes. And so that can be the ground for all of us, but that can also be the starting point for widening the conversation again. So I would propose that this is the point where we invite everybody who's on the list, whoever was involved with Motherland in the past year, will be invited into a status update call. And I would propose that part of that status update call is a section in which Waynand or all of you here now invite people from Africa into that effort of identifying and moving forward the networking across Africa. Because that could be, I think I have about 150 people in the entire list that we can invite, and then or more even, and then we can I'm pretty sure that some of them will stick around and help us.
And Thomas, for the part of communication to be coming out of Africa and driven by Africa, I offer my service because that's one of my strengths. I think I articulate reasonably well. Sometimes I even swing a stick if I have to. But I think, anyway, that's the kind of service I offer to the group.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Herman.
Cool. So
good.
Does it mean that everybody here in the group is in with that plan? Do you agree? Do you have questions? Do you have additional thoughts?
Thanks, Thomas. On my side, I think I'm very happy with that, and I like the idea that we need to drive this as Africans this side with your support as well. So I believe it's a great idea. I think now we are a step forward. So it's time to make things happen. So I'm in.
Cool, thank you. Okay.
Good.
So then my suggestion would be that next week we have a conversation about the contents of the presentation, and maybe even some progress on the side of the universities. And a week after that, we will present the presentation and take things forward. So in about 3 weeks, we should be ready to have a conversation with the 150 people or whoever signs up, so we can move things forward.
And when are we going to discuss the final report by the students?
Good point. So we will, once we have all of the data gathered, we'll make it available to all of us. It will be part of the presentation content as well, in a way, in a condensed form.
Sure.
So maybe we can make this also part of the conversation next week. If that is not sufficient, then we should give it some extra time in between. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that works for me.
It's okay.
So otherwise, we're going to have this checkout call with the students. Yeah, as soon as this date is fixed, we can also invite you to the call. Yeah, just as an option if you are able and interested to join this checkout call. But I wouldn't like to coordinate with all of you to find a date that is suitable to everyone, because that might be too complex.
Thanks, a question.
Yeah. Excuse me?
I think Friday will be fine. I don't know other guys.
Okay. So we let you know when we have the appointment with the students.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Super.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and see you next week, Monday.
Thanks, everyone.
Or before
Okay,
the
be in
break with the
touch.
students.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
be in touch about this, the university.
Thank you, Wendt.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Thanks,
Wendt.
guys. Go well.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Have a good
Bye.
evening.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.